Welcome to our webinar, Ready, Set, Texas Tech. We are excited to have all of you here today. My name is Christine Self with Parent and Family Relations, and joining me today are Lorena Williams from TSI and Christy Fonseca Williams from RaiderReady program. This webinar is part of our Red Raider Family webinar series, where we share information on topics of interest to the parents, families, and supporters of our students. We hope this webinar will help you support your students as they prepare to attend Texas Tech and be successful Red Raiders. We will have more upcoming webinars on topics like financial aid and tuition billing, living on campus, campus safety, and others this summer. So please review the schedule on our website and sign up. We plan to keep this webinar to about 30 minutes or so. If there's time at the end, we'll open it up for questions using the Zoom Q&A feature. In the meantime, feel free to type in your questions throughout the presentation. We do have some folks working behind the scenes to answer those questions for you. We are recording this session and posting it to our website so that you'll be able to review it again later or share with others, including your students. We will also email the recording link to the email that you used when you registered for the webinar. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll turn it over to Lorena.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lorena Williams, and I serve as the TSI Program Director here at Texas Tech. We are so excited that you're choosing to spend some time with us today to get a little bit more information and a little bit more clarification on TSI. As Christine mentioned, we do have someone available to answer questions. If you have questions, please feel free to drop them in the Q&A, and we will do our very best to clarify anything that you might have. We're going to go over very briefly kind of just some common misconceptions that we hear from incoming students, general frequently asked questions, and then some things that we find that's really helpful to know just before you come to RaiderReady orientation or as you're considering Texas Tech and joining the Texas Tech family. Okay, so probably the most common misconception about TSI and Texas Tech is that test optional does not apply to TSI. So we hear more often is why apply test optional, and that is perfect. So TSI is not an admittance test. It is really in its purest form, it's a placement test and a diagnostic in nature. So what it does is it just tells us where is the student's strengths and where is the student's weaknesses. It does not, it is not admittance test. It's actually written in Texas code that these tests are not to be used as admittance tests for universities or for colleges. So like I said, the common misconception is that I don't have to submit a TSI score because I apply test optional. Please help us to spread the word to your student, encourage them to send in the TSI score. Again, what that does is it helps us build a support plan if support is needed for a student. The other common misconception that we hear is I don't need to send in a TSI score. I took college prep or college bridge at my high school. So Texas Tech University does not accept college bridge or college prep coursework to exempt a student from TSI classes. What those classes do is essentially help your student build the skills and build the knowledge that they need to successfully attempt and take the TSI test. So if they have taken it, please don't feel like, oh my goodness, we aren't going to get the use out of this class. We encourage them, if they've taken these classes, go attempt the TSI score. As I mentioned previously, those TSI scores do have to be on file with us in order to be compliant with the state. So if they've taken these courses, encourage them that this was still going to be useful and the knowledge that they worked on is still going to be helpful. Just apply those skills and apply the knowledge that you had in your prep and your bridge course, apply it to the TSI course. So just some talking points that you might be able to kind of bring up this idea of college readiness or TSI with your student. If this is the first time you're hearing this acronym TSI, or you've not heard your student mention it, or have not seen emails come through, so just simply ask your student, do you know what the TSI is? If they are not sure what the TSI is, follow up with them and ask them if they've taken a test that indicates college readiness with their school or with a counselor. And then talk about if they've taken the test, Do you know what it measures and why it's important? So that kind of goes back to that common misconception about um, TSI, not having to submit TSI because I'm test optional. Again, the TSI measures, all it's measuring is where is my strengths and where may some weaknesses be in my math knowledge and my literacy knowledge. And it's important because it helps the university, the college, your success specialist, your team of support know where the support is needed. So if a student is knows, man, I love geometry and I have this great love and I know I want to be in a career that uses a lot of shapes and a lot of equations that I need those specific things for. But you know what? Trig is not my favorite. That test will tell us, man, this student is really great in geometry and lacks a little bit of trigonometry. That helps us know what support you need. And then talk about what are my goals? Do I have a real passion and a real love for a career that's mathematically driven and it's math heavy? Look at what our score says. What are some skills that I maybe need to refine before coming to tech or while I'm in my kind of I'm sorry, not developmental, but my introductory level math classes? I want to be a copyright. Look at your skill set. What is that telling me about myself as a student where I need to grow or maybe just strengthen? Other things that you can kind of talk to your student about is am I participating in any TSI exempt pathways? If your student has dual credit, a qualifying AP score, qualifying ACT, SAT score, could be exempt from TSI, indicating that they are already hitting the college readiness benchmarker. Other thing would be qualifying college credit. So if they're taking some classes over the summer and will be transferring things in, please let us know that. Please let the registrar's office know that, especially when you're coming to RO. And that'll kind of help us know, will you need these TSI support classes, or will you be starting in the fall with us as college ready? Some frequently asked questions that we have is, okay, I'm either new to the state or I've never taken the TSI. How can I study for it? The TSI is going to be very different from your STAR test, your ACT, your SAT. So what we have found is that we have kind of worked with other university partners. We've worked with many people to figure out, okay, where can we find reliable resources to share with our students who are preparing to take the TSI? So on this website, you will find some material, some study help, some prep that we can share with you guys in order to get ready for the TSI. The biggest thing here is going to be the calculator in math. It is very different than what our students are used to. It is embedded in the test, and sometimes it's a basic four function test. So other things that we hear is, how many times can I take it? You you can take it as many times as you would like. What we encourage is 3 times. After the third time, it really gives you a pretty good indication of where your strengths and where some of your challenges may be. This one we hear probably a lot during RO is, how much does our classes cost? So our TSI classes are true support classes. What we want to do is we want to mentor the student. We want to ensure that they have the skills that they need to successfully complete their entry-level math courses. So our fee is just a $50 flat fee. We do not charge tuition and fees for our class. It is just a $50 flat fee. Another thing is, how big are our classes? So TSI classes have fewer than 30 students. The model of our classes is very, like I mentioned earlier, it's mentorship minded. So we want your students to bring whatever is happening in their math class, whether that's college algebra or the stats class, or maybe they're taking the English class. We want them to bring whatever they are working on in their 4 credit class, bring it to our class. Let us help you make sense of it. Let us help you find a great group of peer support that are going to be working on the same projects or the same homeworks that you are working on, that your student is going to be working on. That is really our goal, is to help empower and enable the student to know their resources and to use their resources. So these are just a few sound bites that we heard this year from our students. Um, the idea of TSI support classes can be daunting when you initially hear it, but what we want students to know is that what we are here for is for them. We are here to be your support system. We are here to be your cheerleader. So these are just a few sound bites from, or I guess words, from our students this year that have shared thoughts with us, shared emails with us. And I'll just give you a quick second. The biggest thing that you see over and over is I feel connected. I feel supported. I feel like I know what I'm doing when previously I may have doubted myself. So what we hope that we do for students, we hope that we embolden them, we hope that we empower them, we hope that we encourage them to ultimately be successful in their entry-level math and literacy classes. We hope that they know where support can be found, and we hope that they know that they are supported. It, like we mentioned earlier, if you guys have any questions about TSI specifically, I know every scenario is a little bit different and a little bit varying. Very few times do we see the same scenario, more than a couple of times. So please feel free to send us a chat, send us an email, give us a phone call. If you have a question specific to your student and their TSI status, or your student and the support that they may need or may would like, coming to us either this summer or this fall, please reach out to us. Like I said, my name is Lorena Williams. I am the program director for TSI. And the other person listed here is Lindsay Williams. She's our coordinator. We would love to hear from you if you have anything specific or something further than what we discussed today. Thank you, guys.
And now we'll hear about the RaiderReady program.
Hi, everyone. My name is Christy Fonseca Williams, and I'm the program director for our RaiderReady program here at Texas Tech University. Again, thank you so much for joining us so that we can share with you a little bit about our program, but more specifically about a course that's very, very popular for most of our incoming first-year students to take. All right, so what are we going to talk about? Again, what's the purpose of our RaiderReady program? And what is this RaiderReady 1100 course that I have just mentioned? And also, what are our students saying about RaiderReady this past fall, the ones that took the course? And then, of course, any questions that you may have, and really want you to meet our team. And so during that time, I'll provide our contact information for that as well. All right, so what is our RaiderReady program? So our purpose for our program for this specific course is to build a community to help with those transitions from high school to college, those social interactions, and really a lot of what our course does is we help our students that take our course to identify those campus resources that they will utilize, especially their first semester here at Texas Tech. So just for some clarification, our RaiderReady program is also referred to as RRP, or just simply RaiderReady. So when you see us, hopefully at orientation, come see us, come visit with us, come talk to us about how this class can help you. This is a 1-hour credit course for those students that choose to take RaiderReady. All right, so what are the specifics of this 1-hour course? It's a 12-week. We meet once a week. It's in person. And so what are some of those benefits? It supports a higher GPA, and we'll talk specifically about that in just a moment. Again, just to reiterate, we really emphasize the importance of knowing those campus resources at the specific time that your student is going week by week of their first semester here at Texas Tech. We, even though you earn 1 credit, we don't have homework, test, or assignments in our class. The emphasis is on attendance. So we want to ensure that our students are attending class. If we miss a class, if we miss a few classes, be assured that our instructors will reach out to our students to make sure that they're first off doing well. We want to focus on that overall student well-being. And so for us, that's how we utilize and emphasize that. We want to see our students in class. Our campus communication for extra support, community building with other fellow Red Raiders. And it's a safe, judgment-free space to ask those first-year questions. So a little bit more about our 1 hour credit course. Again, we do have about 22 students per class. So it's again similar to TSI. We do offer the small class sizes. It's a week by week guidance and resources for your new Red Raider to make sure they know what's going on. What resources do they specifically need to know about for that week? Also, it's been proven statistically that those students that complete RaiderReady 1100, and this came from our students that completed this past fall 2024, is that the GPA range shows that students obviously that had our support, that took our course, they started off that spring semester with a higher GPA. So we highly encourage you to take our course and again, look for us at orientation. So what do our students say about our RaiderReady course? Again, to emphasize the community building, they tell their friends that this is easy credit and you get to interact with people to learn about Texas Tech and what we have to offer. Our instructors definitely care about how things are going in your Red Raiders life. It's extremely helpful with those transitions, again, going from high school to college. It's an easy A. And the social interactions is probably what's most helpful about this class. It's really nice to know sometimes that not only do we have great things going on, but also with those challenging obstacles happen throughout the semester, we have a support group that your student can come to at least once a week. And again, to reiterate again, we have those campus resources. What's going to help my Red Raider progress through their first semester here at Texas Tech? So what's their favorite parts of RaiderReady 1100 or RRP? It's having a class where they weren't stressed out every day. They appreciate learning the new study techniques that are helpful when adjusting from high school to college. Also to have a teacher that knows their name, have a small group to interact with each week. And of course, those small class sizes are really, really helpful. So how does a student register for our class? Well, it's actually pretty simple. When you attend Red Raider Orientation, or as many of us know it as RRO, please make sure that you visit with your advisor and let them know, I want to take RaiderReady 1100 or RRP. And so our contact information will be on the next slide. So if you want to grab those cameras to take a quick photo, here's how you can get more information about our RaiderReady program. This is our team. Myself, I'm Christy, and Sarah is also part of our RaiderReady team. Feel free to reach out to us through email or a phone call, and we'll be more than happy to provide that assistance for you.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Christy and Lorena, for talking with us about TSI and RaiderReady program. We would love for you all to share some of your questions using the Q&A feature. I'm sure you have questions for them. One I did see in the chat earlier, again, it was put in the chat and someone's answered it, but it might be good for the whole group. Can you speak to how a student can find out, if they are exempt from needing to take the TSIA and how if they have those exemptions, exactly how do they get that to us so that we can know?
Sure, great question. Okay, so yes, reach out to the TSI compliance office and the registrar's office. They will be able to give you specifics on the ACT and the SAT qualifying scores. If you know already, the college readiness indicator are on those tests. If you know what, I already know my ACT and my SAT qualifies because I saw on my students' results college readiness benchmark or indicator. What you want to do is you want to encourage your student to send from their TTU email to the registrar's office, registrar@ttu.edu email, and submit those scores or submit those ACT, SAT scores, and just let them know that this is TSI compliance or college ready compliance. And they will start auditing those emails as they come in. This is a high volume time of year for the registrar's office, so please do give them, we estimate about 10 days, so 2 weeks, to update the status of your student, from not college ready to college ready. But definitely submit to the registrar's office at registrar@ttu.edu.
Thank you. A little bit about RaiderReady program. Can you talk again about what would a student expect for a class size for that course? And if a parent or family member is, really wanting to talk with their student about taking it, what would be, a good talking point for them? Say, hey, I really encourage you to take this class, and here's why.
Absolutely. So we are really, really happy, and I feel like it's a privilege. We have the opportunity to offer that small class size of about 20 to 22 students per class. I say that because some of our class sizes here at Texas Tech can be rather large, but this allows the student to have the opportunity to come once a week, where they can ask those questions, where they can, um, if they need help with, oh no, I have a chemistry exam coming up, where's the best place that I can go to get some help or tutoring or whatever it may be. In addition to that, with them being face-to-face once a week, as instructors, we have the opportunity to ensure that if we don't see if we don't see our students after a couple of weeks, we're going to make sure that we check on them. Again, it's all about building a community, building a network for our students, to make sure that, as we progress week by week, we've worked really hard to strategically make sure that we're able to follow and accompany the student week by week, and to hopefully take away some of that apprehension that they may have, especially those first 2 to 4 weeks while being here at Texas Tech. What I mean by that is, so week one, we're going to make sure that your student can log into those systems that they need to have access to. We're going to make sure that they know where to locate those syllabi. We're going to make sure that they know that we're even parking in the right spot, right? Week two, we're going to make sure that they know that they can, what does their meal plan look like? Where can they, or where are some great places to eat around campus? Um, so this is a place, again, where we're hoping to provide that community where your students feel safe to come and ask those questions. But on the flip side of that, we also want to provide that academic support. So, we know that probably for about week 3 or 4, our students are already going to probably have that first exam, that first test. What does that look like for them? And we also know that probably, we want to make sure that they know that the resources that they have available to them on campus. Are we a great writer? Are we not a great writer? Do we need extra help with math or science, whatever it may be? Or what does it look like if we want to attend that first football game, right? When we want to go see our Red Raiders, what does that look like for them? What can we expect? How do I make sure I can get into the game? And so these are the types of questions, these are the types of conversations that we hope that we can share with your students when they register for one of our RaiderReady 1100 classes.
Thank you. So it sounds like it's a really great opportunity for students to really just get, you know, connected with other students with these small classes and with their, instructor who's leading the course, and really get into knowing how to be a Red Raider.
Absolutely, especially another emphasis that we have is, what type of social groups do I want to be a part of? Are there social groups that have my interest? I can assure you there probably is. Um, so we can identify those social groups, we can identify those clubs and organizations, but better yet, what's the next step that we need to take to see if we want to join that club or organizations? So we highly encourage, again, not just the academic support, but the social support as well in our RaiderReady classes.
Wonderful. Um, One question that comes up sometimes in our office, I didn't see it typed here today, but I just wanted, as we're heading into orientation time, and this is a question about really TSI, what can families and students expect if they need to visit with you during orientation? What does that look like?
I think if they need to come talk to TSI, what I hope they find is some welcoming faces that want to clarify what TSI is. So developmental education, there's lots of maybe questions and lots of maybe assumptions are made about developmental education. Kind of the beautiful thing about the state of Texas is every university addresses the need for developmental education a little differently. The way Texas Tech uses it, which I'm incredibly proud of and incredibly excited about, is we kind of take the holistic approach of how do we support the student as a whole. So when you meet with us during RRO, the first thing we'll say is welcome. We are super excited for you to be here. And then we'll talk a little bit about what does TSI coursework look like. And what we hope you leave ultimately our table is feeling like, you know what, this is going to be a great thing. This is going to be a great support for our student. What we want to ensure that our students know is that ultimately this class is not an additional math class or an additional literacy class. What we do is truly kind of think as the guide on the side. What we want to do is walk with you as you're taking your college algebra class. We don't want to prolong, we don't want to help or ask you to not take those courses. We say, go for it. We're going to cheer for you. All we're asking is that you take us with you while you walk that course. More often than not, parents, families, students feel a little more excited about their coursework after leaving our table. And that's what ultimately we want to do. We want to encourage our students to come find support, find a place to get connected, whether that's RRP, whether that's TSI. There's a beautiful body here at Texas Tech that of support for you. Get plugged in, use us. That is what we are here for.
Wonderful. Well, yes, please do. When you come to orientation, seek out the folks with RaiderReady program and TSI to make sure that your students connected. Well, that is about all the time we have, but please feel free to continue typing your questions. We will stay behind the scenes and get those answered for you. On your screen now, you should see the contact information for TSI and RaiderReady program. We also have a QR code. We would love to get your feedback on attending this webinar. Just a couple of quick questions asking how we did today and how we might improve. We will also be sending this link to this recording. We'll also have the slides available for you later this afternoon. So again, thank you for being here. Please do not hesitate to reach out to any of us if you have any questions, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you.